world, it's me again. Okay, I figured out the great Irish mystery. The whole readings from everything tonight. Hold on, I just put crumbs. These are my crumbs. Sorry, I just had a little bread and butter with some marmalade. This is the thing. Spirit gets going, but this is like, this is important. Okay. This is what I mean, though, by unraveling a mystery. Okay. So we already know. Okay, so let's back it up to when I addressed the person who has been my client before that has been unwell. Well, it really affected me, and something shifted. There's been like this whole week, I don't know what's going on for you guys in the world, but something momentous, and I can really see it on a global scale. Something shifted. And right after that, a friend of mine who's also not doing very well, who I've been really trying to just keep an eye on, you know? Like, this is the thing, folks, like, sometimes it just is about just checking in to be like, hey, I'm thinking about you. And sometimes, like, I'm not one to really push things. I'm really of the mindset, if someone's not asking for my opinion, don't give it. When it comes to mental health crisis, I will absolutely give it. And this friend in particular, I've been really kind of pushing to be like, I'm really worried about you. I really think we should pad you with a bit more support. What does that look like for you right now? Anyway, so the day after I made that post, they reached out to me and was just like, oh my God, I got that therapist that you said I should get, and I spoke to them, and basically the therapist caught them kind of, it's an emergency. Like, my friend is not doing okay. And the thing is, when you're not doing okay, you're really isolated, or you mask, or jails, institutions, and deaths sometimes, because depending on what's going on, there can be some things. Okay, so with the reading tonight, it's all coming together. Okay, so after I made my little bedtime post, as I do, the Gemini me, I like to do research, so I looked up Dolores. Because as I said, I figured out, I was like, oh, the Dubliners and the 7 Drunk Nights, and then I remembered why Spirit was talking about the errands, err on the side of caution. So then, to be honest, I had to remember, I knew that Dolores had drowned, and I knew it had something to do with drinking, but I was like, okay, let's go back. I want to read about her. She's coming through very strongly tonight. And as I was reading, it hit all the things that I was talking about. For one, the Canada-Ireland connection. Dolores had purchased a place in Ontario. I'm very familiar with this area, and it's an area that boy Aaron used to live near. Anyways, but it is more about Spirit being like, err on the side of caution. Err on. Err in. Err on. You know? Okay. So then I was like, okay, so it's not Newfoundland, but it's definitely a Canadian-Ireland connection. Okay. But the thing, though, is that with Dolores, and this is where it's ding, 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 so this is going to be a very specific message, and it can apply to a few here, but it's definitely around bipolar, it's around drinking, and it's really about being like, also today, there has been really erratic, fucked up energy today. Like, a huge car accident as I was waiting for the bus at the university, like, try to get to the other campus. It was a shit show today, from start to finish, total shit show. And I even said to every single person that I encountered at the university, I was like, there is a vibe today, what the fuck? So it's coming through so strongly because the first reading that I did tonight that I got spice level about, I understand it now. This is most likely, it doesn't have to be, you can kind of be outside the scope of the bipolar spectrum, whether it's bipolar 1, bipolar 2, there's, you know. But it's like the grandmamas are really in, like, and to be honest, sometimes I don't know if it's like if I sometimes connect to actual people, like, I don't know if it is Dolores or like what, but they're using this as the analogy at minimum to be like, here are words. So, and Dolores did have I think 2 or 3 children. So this is the thing, I really feel, and that's why I was so distressed the other day, because when there's children involved, and I've lost so many people to suicide, or things like, again, in a state, things can happen, whether it's accidental, whether it's intentional, so many things can occur. So there is absolutely a warning tonight. Whoever is really, really, and that's why I said in that first reading, death could be a real outcome here. Like, I'm freezing. I'm freezing cold right now. I have the oven on. I'm so cold to my bones. When it comes in like this is like, I cannot stress it enough. Time doesn't wait for anyone. We do get a lot of chances. And why it really affects me is because I don't know why I'm alive today. I don't know why, out of all of my own mental health crises, my own trying to take my own life, my own, why some of us make it and some of us don't. I don't know why. But I do know, in my experiences, there was always what I call the window of opportunity. But once that window closes, you cannot open it again. So if you are struggling tonight, or have been, do not drink tonight. Dolores drowned in a bathtub. She was drunk, you know? And after the end of her marriage, her bipolar, she was cycling out. This is so common in my world. You know, like, this is why I say, like, there's no shame. I know it got spice level in that reading, but there are aspects of that, you know? When people, it's like, and I know both sides. I know what it feels like to feel like you cannot do a thing to help yourself. I am the first to say that. I know all about it. I know all about it, guys. But I also know that there were a lot of people who sometimes gave that tough love to be like, what the fuck? You know? And I did that actually for first Aaron. You know, speaking of mental health crisis, it's one of the reasons why we didn't get married. You know, but there were times where I was like, you are very unwell, and I'm really worried about you. So we're gonna pull some cards, to be honest. Like, yeah, because she's coming through, because this happened before. This has happened before, and I didn't make the connection till after, but I did a reading too where it was different than this, but then in real life, there's a connection. So I did this reading where it was a warning reading, but it was more around SA and being in an unsafe workplace around someone. And it was so specific, and I even think I even said, like, law. There's something around law and, like, working with someone, and I was like, do not be alone with this person. There is sexual violence within this person. Do not. And literally, as soon as I finished that reading, within 3 hours, and I always talk about it, but my favorite show is the new version of Matlock. The actress on that show, the actor that plays her fucking counterpart in the law team, essayed her in real life. You know, he's been removed from the fucking show from season 2. So this is why I'm taking it very seriously tonight. This is why I'm not in bed. I'm no longer tired, because I'm like, it's all coming together in the pieces. This is so serious. I take it very seriously. And again, it may just be for one or two of you. But, like, there's just certain things that we can't come back from, and I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. Even if it is accidental. It's like, no, I feel like not tonight. Not tonight. Okay. God. Yeah, like, people are getting better, but also people are are slipping through the cracks, you know? I'm also being shown Cat Power right now. If you're not familiar with the artist Cat Power, I remember her from the beginning of her career till current. And, you know, she was a public display of a mental health crisis, and she almost didn't make it. And it took someone, a friend of hers, showing up on her doorstep and like we gotta check in on each other. And I know it's hard. Like I said, I know both sides of healing. I know what it's like to be the person who needs to be healed and is like way fucked up. Like, guys, I have been around. I've been to rehab. I've lived on the streets. I've lived in homeless shelters. Like, there's really nothing. Eating disorders. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking out of my ass. Most of my friends, bipolar, most of my friends, like, most of my friends are, you know, on medication for their bipolar now. But, you know, we're at that age. I'm in my middle 40s now, but for the ones that decided to not get medicated or to go off their meds or to go back to using, we're in this stage of our life where it's just like a lot of us don't make it, you know? And I feel like this reading came through because it's a warning. Oh yeah, and with the 7 drunken nights, again, this emphasis, I really feel, especially with Dolores' death, being around drinking in the bathtub, drinking alone. There's something here. Especially if you're... Dolores had been going through her separation and divorce, which really set things off. So, you know, if you're having a really hard time, and especially if you have children, I just cannot implore you enough. Like, please, please do not add substances right now. Like, I wish I had every crisis line for every, like, I always have active crisis lines for this particular city, not only for myself, but for anyone that I come into contact with. Like, I know resources for everyone are slim. Like, everyone's in a crisis, you know? But this is important. And it just all makes sense now. Err on the side of caution tonight, folks. But not just tonight, but like, it feels like we got a real week ahead of us. But tonight in particular. Okay, let me focus. Grandmama. God, Jesus, Grandma, Buddha, archangels. Oh, and going back to when I was saying, even just with my exes, I was like, they're both earth signs. What are the chances? When I looked up Dolores, she's a Virgo, but she passed away in Capricorn season. The 2 earth signs. Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. It gets really specific for me. Like, for me, this feels really locked in. You might be like, but no. For me, I'm like, oh, Spirit has me up. Tell you right now, I would love to be asleep. Can't sleep. We gotta get the message. Yeah, I don't even know. I to be honest, I don't want to claim it in the sense that it feels like a bit, because I was just gonna call in Grandma, but if not Grandma, but I'm like, I actually feel a different presence. I don't want to say it's Dolores, but it's another outside, and it's not, you know, it's not malevolent. Okay. So for whoever I'm connecting to on the spirit side, all of this Irish energy, whether it's the grandmas, Dolores, whoever, someone on the other side is coming through from Ireland or has an Irish connection here. You clearly are connecting to someone that I have in my crowd. So let's really connect the message right here, right now. What is it that, and again, collective, there's a lot of you. I really do think it's for a really small handful of you, okay? And you'll know if you know. If you're cycling out right now and you're suicidal or depressed, like, please reach out right now. Get on any kind of hotline, call a friend, call a cab, go to a 24-hour McDonald's. I don't care. Whatever it takes. And please do not add alcohol. It seems like alcohol is the real theme here. Okay, Queen of Cups. Look into the past. It's emotional. Okay, again, it's very specific. I really do feel it could even be the person that I tried to, I did block their email, but they still have access to this. But it does seem to be a person who has children. It does seem to be like a mother figure with children. And there could be something around the end of a relationship here. It's the Dolores thing that's coming through so strongly. It's about her story, all of the things, being a mom, having kids. And the Queen of Cups is a mother. Okay. Oh, the Ace of Swords to the King of Cups. See, they're not looking at each other. Okay. Yeah, so we have a bit of a crisis here because there's some kind of separation here in a family unit. Okay, so what's going underneath the Queen of Cups? Page of Wands. That to me is like the children. Yeah, the children are upset. See, I didn't see this as a rose, I saw it as a poppy. And poppies grow in the fields of death, right? This is a heavy one, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is the thing. It's coming through because there's two outcomes. There is enough time. There is enough time. This is that window of opportunity to make a different choice. I'm telling you, there's two kids here. But see, the children and the dad are facing the future. The Queen of Cups is facing the past. She's not facing the sword of truth. This is what I mean by the reading that I first did tonight. It's the unwillingness. You think you see the truth. And this is why when I say the brain is so delicate, right? Even when sleep deprivation, food, there's so many things that alter our mood. And that's why I always say, like, what a difference a day can make. Because I've been in those dark spots, I know, okay? But this is the thing. You just cannot come back. And in the last 5 years, I've known 4 or 5 people who've committed suicide. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands going underneath the King of Cups. Okay, so what's going underneath the Queen of Cups to the Page of Wands? Back to the burdens. See, this is future facing. Put down the burdens. Putting down the burden is just asking for help. And sometimes you don't even have to, because there's enough people to just be like, it's about surrendering. you can just let go, and not let go in a forever let go. Let people help you. And yes, I also know the medical field can be like the justice system. They're both institutions, and they can really fuck you up. Trust me. I once took myself to the psych ward in Edmonton, Alberta, the U of A hospital, and at that time, the psych ward was closed on the weekends, and I was there because I wanted to kill myself. And the doctor just gave me one of those and said, you know what, just don't kill yourself this weekend. Luckily, I had a friend with me because I was willing to be honest with them. It's so funny, actually. They're my one friend who also has struggled with being suicidal, and they're also now a psychologist. And for the last 20 years in my wallet, we had a suicide pact that neither of us could commit suicide until we had reached out to one another as a like, hey, I'm not doing okay. But we could not, under any circumstances, do that unless we had talked to the other. And I really do believe I'm alive because of that. So you have to have the courage to just tell people, and then just let people help you. Especially when you have kids. Ace of Swords to the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, the Page of Cups. But this to me it's past facing, but see, with this one, and I feel like it's that Page of Wands, I feel like there's a younger child here that if this person were to not be here, it's this calling and searching. Yeah, they're looking in their cup. They're looking for their mom. They're looking for their dad. Five of Cups. It's like you may have lost the family unit because you haven't been taking care of yourself. You know, sometimes that does happen. People have to walk away from us. But you have your kids, and they need you. I just asked about you as the Queen of Cups. I can't judge something I understand. I can't stress that enough. It's probably more painful for me to understand both worlds, having lost people to suicide and having wanted to not be here my whole life, or most of my life. It's the kids, you know? They just don't understand. And if it's preventable, like this is what I mean. It's preventable. It's what I said in that first reading tonight. Like, what a waste. Because this could be really preventable. The mind is delicate. And not everything is factual. It feels real. And it's not. You know? Like, don't give up a minute before the miracle happens. And trust me, like, my life is ridiculous. And it's really unpleasant more often than not. But, like, I just have to be here till the very end because of my son. I'm locked in. I cannot leave him on this planet alone. You know? So you will know if this message is for you. Because this is so specific. There's no wiggle room on this. This isn't take a couple pieces. We're talking bipolar, we're talking addictions, we're talking you're a parent with one to three children, probably a relationship or marriage that is like been on the rocks, is on the rocks, you've separated, and if you're drinking a lot, pick up the phone right now. Like right now. I'm not fucking around. You do what you have to do to get right. I just can't even look at the, like, I'm sorry guys, like for me, I'm in the feeling of it. You know, and I saw it in the first reading tonight. I don't ever talk about physical deaths very often. And the fact that all night, the readings, you know, but there's like one little kid here in particular. I'm just telling you, it's like, they are not gonna understand this. The impact, okay? Okay, Grandmama, all the spirit team. But you know what? As much as I don't love my mom had come down around that time that I was very suicidal, and it was a crisis. Everyone was around me, but my mom had, I don't know, she didn't live close by, but she had come down for this one. And I remember she was crying in this hotel room, and she wanted me to promise her that I wasn't going to hurt myself, and I couldn't do it. But I do remember her saying, "You know me. Do you trust me to tell you the truth? Like, can you trust my vision? Because somewhere inside of you, you know me, and you know how I can see things. Can you at least just be willing to admit or to say that, like, okay, I'm gonna trust this one person's sight, that maybe what I'm not feeling, seeing, and experiencing is as accurate as I think it is." That is one thing I can tell you for sure. In many ways, my life has been harder in different areas, for sure. I fight with my spirit team sometimes about it. But there have been so many moments, including the birth of my son, that every time something just beautiful happens, I give thanks that I never carried out killing myself. And I'm not trying to, again, my life is currently still very hard, but I am grateful to be here. We are all responsible for our choices. I can't force anyone in this crowd to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm just a messenger, and I can only extend my own experience, strength, and hope. But the thing that really fucks me up is when there's kids. Kids need their moms and their dads, you know? They really do. So whatever it is that you're planning, or if you're being reckless, if you've gone off your meds, please. Cocktails take a long time. I'm not talking drinking cocktails. I'm talking the cocktails of like in the schizoid and bipolar. It does take a long time. I know meds can be really horrible. I know that. But like, please. It took my cousin most of his life to find a cocktail to work for him. And it's clicked. My friend who lives down the street, every time we see each other, it's just like, we cannot believe that we're still alive. And he's on his meds. Like, do you know? It's not going to be easy, but I'm telling you, it's going to be better than this. And like Five of Swords, it's the mental fuckery. It's not the truth. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I kind of want to pray, to be honest. I've never felt an energy like this. I've had readings where I felt scared for people because of outside scary people, like stalkers and like scary exes. But this is really like, this is time sensitive. This is for, and I don't even care if it's just for one person. Oh, angels. Grandma. May we all get through our darkest hours. Okay, people. Please. Please take care of yourselves. Like, this is no joke. Everything can be fixed. It may take time. I've seen it with my own eyes. I really have. I really, really have. Yeah, someone's bath is draining right now, upstairs. And it's like 1 in the morning. Okay, I gotta post this video. I don't even know what to say, to be honest, other than I just feel like I can tuck myself in and just like pray. Like, and let's pray for one another, you know? And check in on one another. We don't have to rescue people, but just checking in and saying, hey, I'm really worried about you. And I say this with love, but like, I'm worried about you. And sometimes you have to be forceful. I was that one home alone when my roommate had a full psychotic break, like full. And I wasn't forceful, like, but I was like, I could tell that they could not make a decision. I was like, I am absolutely taking you to the hospital right now. You don't need to agree. Like, we're going. Whether it's the ambulance coming here or like, we're going. Okay. Yeah, like, I don't even want to like leave, but I have to post this, otherwise it's not gonna find whoever it needs to find. Oh, angels, Dolores, anyone, like whoever, this is a message for someone. Again, it's so, please find whoever this message. Yeah, crows carry this message, who it needs to find.